Hello, crafters and artisans, and welcome back to Psychedelic Squid Fiber Arts. Today, I'm going to be showing you how to fix a bent crank on your spinning wheel. Now, there might be lots of reasons why the drive wheel on your spinning wheel might not be spinning correctly. It might be an uneven drive wheel support, it might be that the crank is out of alignment with the rest of the wheel. However, today I'm only going to show you how to fix a metal crank that was bent. First, you'll need a rubber mallet and a wire bending pin jig to help bend the crank. This is what it looks like. Here's my before. This was an easy problem to diagnose. You can see that this metal crank is clearly bent. It looks like someone might have dropped it on the footman's side. For this method of repair, it's important that you have a wheel type compatible with my repair method. You can see at the base of the crank that goes into the wood is square. This allows it to grip the drive wheel and spin it, but it also means your crank was pressure fit into the drive wheel hub. So on the back side, you can see the side without the footman connection is completely smooth, meaning this is the side I use the rubber mallet on to push it out. Now, I disassembled my drive wheel because the wood dowels holding it together had been broken and the wheel was actually pulling apart. If your drive wheel is still in good condition, you don't have to do this step. Here's a close-up of the drive wheel hub and the bent crank. I did knock the crank out off screen, but if you're doing this on a still intact drive wheel, be sure to support it evenly and try a few light taps to get the crank moving. Even though it was rusted, mine came out very easily. So, I did already straighten the crank off camera because the amount of pressure I had to put on it to get it to bend wasn't conducive to filming. However, I'll show you how I lined up my crank to bend it correctly. Basically, you want the apex of the bend just past one of the metal pins and then to pull on it in the opposite direction of the bend. Since this is basically one short wire, it might need to be straightened several times at one bend due to the amount of focal points. I suggest practicing with a simple metal rod from Home Depot to get the feel for how your wire bending jig works. It's important to only do small corrections at a time, so you don't want to bend this in one direction and then have to rebend it back because you went too far on the first attempt. Each time you bend it, you add stress to the metal, and this can cause it to snap, so you'll want to manipulate the metal as little as possible to get it into the correct shape. Now, putting the crank back is as simple as it was to remove. I'm going to add some paraffin wax shavings to make the process a little bit easier. I did clean and oil the metal to prevent further rusting. I suggest you do too while you have the crank out of the drive wheel hub. You can see it doesn't require much pressure to fit the crank back in place. Now, to make sure my drive wheel is centered on the crank, I'm measuring both sides so they're even and checking the square portion of the crank doesn't stick out from either side. And here's the final results. Let me know what you think. Please leave any questions you have in the comments section below. Thank you for exploring the depths of your creativity with me, and I'll see you next time.